So Roberto De Zerbi has just suffered defeat for Tottenham in his first match in charge at the Stadium of Light. They've just lost to Sunderland 1-0. They are in the relegation zone. They're sitting in 18th place, Nige. 2 points they need to even get out of it. And now all of a sudden playing in the Championship next season is looking more and more like a reality for Spurs.
Yeah, it's not great for Tottenham. They started in the relegation zone before this match day, and then now they find themselves in it with West Ham getting that win. We talk about relegation fight. You need fight, you need character, you need to scrap. Forget all this philosophy and everything that goes on. The players need to turn up. They didn't today. They didn't create a lot of chances at all. It's always going to be a difficult place to go to the Sunderland, the Stadium of Light and get any kind of result. They didn't really create much. And when they went 1-0 down, they created even less. There's a lack of fight in this Tottenham side, and that is the worry when you look at the running eventually that's going to come up for them. Today was a real opportunity missed to even come away with a point. I didn't see it in them. I saw more fight, more desire in a Sunderland side that's been newly promoted to the Premier League than a Tottenham side with experienced players and all the money that they spent, not understanding really, truly the situation that they're in. And it will not be great, and it's not looking good. And also on the other side of it as well, when you look at the teams that are competing amongst for this relegation fight, West Ham are a team right now that have a lot more momentum and are in form right now.
I think experience also being in those sort of games, in those situations, because this is not a game where you can just start to play football. For me, the entire group is not on the same page, and I mean that through the ownership and the board, with the manager now. It doesn't matter who the manager is, not De Zerbi in particular, and the group of players. When I watch a team play, or when I'm going to analyze a team, or when I want to watch a team, any team around the world, I want to know what are they good at, what are their strengths, what are the weaknesses, what's their identity, what's the DNA of the club. When Tottenham start a season, you don't know. You have no idea what they're going to look like. You have no idea how they're going to play. They don't have a style. They don't have an identity. They don't know who the manager's going to be. They don't have the players that match up what the manager wants, what the ownership wants. The cohesiveness is not there in the group. And the most obvious example is the hiring of Tudor, the hiring of De Zerbi now. De Zerbi is a manager that's known for... The reason why he doesn't have a job in Italy, in my opinion, is because he's too risky of a manager. They don't know how he's going to play. He wants to play possession-based football. He wants to play out of the back. He wants to play vertical. It's this modernization of the football. It would probably be the opposite style, you would say, for a relegation battle. Yeah. Even the terms of his deal, where he doesn't have to go down with them necessarily if they go down. It's just so many poor decisions and strange decisions for a club of this magnitude. And then one thing I do know very well, unfortunately, when you get into that vacuum, that bottom, sort of 6 teams, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. For sure. I've seen it no matter what. You can prepare, the craziest things happen. Bad injuries, bad moments, fluke mistakes, right? You set up the game well, there's a fluke individual mistake. We've seen that with Tottenham so many times. And
other results don't go your way.
Other results don't go your way. And then I just worry about the group of players, because Nigel said this point to me, but like the West Ham guys or some of the teams that have been down there, they know what it's like. Okay, they lose this game. Boom, next one. We got 6 games left. These guys, did you see their faces at the end of the game?
They were defeated.
Well, Tottenham's never been relegated.
I think I saw 2 grown men cry today on Tottenham,
yeah,
I think. With a head down and like, oh, it's like, you got 6 games left. You're only 2 points back. For me, if I'm De Zerbi and in this group, I'm saying, guys, let's go. Next one. But I don't know if they have the correct group for that. We'll see.
Grella makes a great point. They looked defeated. They looked defeated in the game, even with the talk about the fight, the basics. Yes, you're going to have managerial change, but also you have to understand the situation you're in. This ain't about tactics. We know about De Zerbi and what he wants to play. That all has to go out the window. This is about making these players feel better than they are, to make them feel that they are the best player in the world right now while they go through this situation. Experience plays a part. West Ham have been down a few times from the Premier League to the Championship. The fan base knows what to expect. The fan base knows how to react and how to support their team. Tottenham fans have never really been in this situation before when it comes from being relegated from the Premier League table. So it's a real different atmosphere that they're having to learn to deal with. And then obviously today we see also their captain Romero go down, which looks like an injury, and he's being consoled by his teammates as well. We don't know how significant it is, but that's not a good player to lose in these situations when your captain has to be a fighter and everything. And can't say he's been a great captain for the entirety of the season for the football club. But really and truly, I do worry for Tottenham.
In what way, by the way? Which way do you think he hasn't led to his best? Do you mean with the social media posts or just how? Everything.
Social media posts. His performances haven't been up there to exclude him for the poor season that Tottenham have had. His attack on the hierarchy of the Tottenham and the running of the football club and recruiting, that's not what you want from your leader and your captain. That is not the person that the rest of the dressing room has to follow behind to say, this is the one that's going to lead the example. Do your job and perform. Your job is not to run a football club. Fans and people can see themselves whether they feel that their club is going in the right direction with the players that they're signing, with who they're bringing into a football club. That's not your job. You're not a CEO. You're not a director of football. You're the captain of the football club. Lead by example, not getting sent off, not doing reckless things on a football pitch, and help your teammates to win football matches.
Yeah, well, the run-in as well to close the season now looks daunting for them. Here's just a reminder of the matches that they've got. 6 to go in the Premier League, and like we said, they are in the relegation zone. They need 2 points just to even get out of it. They've got Brighton on Saturday. Then they've got Wolves, Aston Villa, Leeds United, Chelsea, and Everton isn't an easy to close it. How do you rate this run-in, Grella? How many points realistically could you see them getting, given that it's been such a long time since they've even won in the Premier League?
Yeah, to me, I think you can take all the badges and blank them out. It doesn't matter. It's 6 games where you have to take X amount of points, and I think every game is going to be a scrap and present its own problems. Like, there is no easy games in the Premier League, for sure. Every team is playing pretty much for something. I just think with 6 games left, De Zerbi, his system, his tactics, the way he wants to play football is like intricate. Even if it was simple, you can't learn it in a weekend. You can't learn it in a week. You're not going to have the group to play that way. So you have to have the manager that's going to bring them. And I'm not saying that he's not it, but you have to have a really strong group mentality, really strong characters now, because I know it's doom and gloom, and I know the body language was terrible at the end of this game, but you're 2 points there, and there's a few teams you can drag back into it. And you can't afford the catastrophe of going down to the championship. If you're Tottenham, you cannot. With that stadium, with that fan base, you cannot go to the championship. For me, it's not an option for them at all. So they have to figure it out. They have to figure it out quick. Is De Zerbi going to show them some trick, some secret that we don't know about? It's not that easy.
By the way, against Brighton as well, of all teams, where the team where he did have a lot of success with in this match.
And they would love to stick it to him as well. I would say what Grella is saying. Yeah, De Zerbi might not be the right appointment right now. He was in a win-win situation, but he was in a win-win situation, and that's because Tottenham as a football club put themselves in this situation.
To get relegated if he goes down with them?
No, he's in a win-win situation. If you look at the rumours that are out there about the financial package he will get if Tottenham stay in the Premier League, as a manager there, put anyone in that situation there, you've got nothing to lose and all to gain. So even if they do get relegated, he's still got a long contract where he can either walk on a free or stay at Tottenham. I think for me, when I look at those fixtures again, Poppy, I see maybe 4 points if they're lucky. And it's not how you lose football matches sometimes or how you win football matches. It's what you see from the players and the team collectively.
So, by the way, you've got them going down then. If you only think they can take 4 points, that mathematically looks like it probably wouldn't do enough for them.
I said that I did see Tottenham going down from a few weeks ago, from before De Zerbi came in, from when Igor Tudor came in, from the performances and the results they were getting. They were not in the right form where I could see them as a team that's staying up right now.
It's shocking, isn't it? You know, we've seen Spurs struggle over the last couple of seasons, but this is on another level because they have never been relegated from the Premier League. They're one of only a handful of teams since the league formed in 1992 to never have done so. Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool and Manchester United being the other ones. And that's a real bow to their arrow at the minute, isn't it, that they are in that elite group, because that's something that a lot of fans take pride on. But also they don't want to look down the reality of the spiral of the English pyramid as well. For sure. What we saw, I mean, obviously Tottenham's different than Luton, but we've seen many examples of big clubs that just go boom, 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 straight down the spiral, down the pyramid. I think that's sort of the issue, right? They won the Europa League last season, by the way. They have good players. They were trying to play and be in Europe, right? They're one of the biggest clubs in England. They have unbelievable stadium, unbelievable fan base, right? So it's hard to go from that and face the reality that you're not very good and you're in a relegation battle now, because you keep thinking, oh, well, we won the Europa League last season. Oh, yeah, but we're on all this money. Oh, but we've never been relegated. You've got to, it doesn't matter now. For the next 6 games, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who you play, and it doesn't matter who you were or what you did last season or even what you did last week. You've got to be ready to play in those 6 games and to avoid this drop, because, by the way, that goes on your resume, and it's tough. Nobody wants a relegation on their CV. Well, when you look at the list of teams we just had there quickly there, the closest was Everton, who came closely to being relegated for 2 seasons in a row, you know, and then they stayed up. So for Tottenham, I think for me, when you just look at everything as a bigger picture situation, football's an art.
It's not a science, it's an art behind football in planning, in recruitment, in how you see your club. What is the foundation of your club? What are you trying to build here? And this is just a pure example of the art of football, because Spurs have made so many bad decisions as a football club, which has led them to this situation right now. And maybe you might not be as good as you think you are. And if they do get relegated from the Premier League, financially it's going to be a big impact to a football club that's very well supported around the world, and what they're trying to build from the business side. It's not going to be great.
It's very true. I mean, it's been so interesting, hasn't it? Obviously, they lost to Forest, who were down there in 16th place, then losing today. They've got Leeds United coming up, who are only 3 points away from them. So what a run-in at the bottom end of the Premier League table it is going to be to close the season. And we'll see if Spurs survive.